Okay, so I thought I'd talk about some of the stuff I've been working on. This map is mainly just a template, so my focus is on experimentation and learning, improving my skills. It's not that I think that this is a good game. I'll get into why it's like this right now. But yeah, that is definitely still the focus. I've been doing this stuff less than 2 months still, and I need to focus on learning stuff, right? So, and you might say, well, you can learn by trying to make the best game possible. Well, you have to experiment a lot. And this is a new template that was released by Roblox a few days ago. So, racing template. And my game is more focused on, it's called Rocket Fight. So, it's, I'll just show you the thing. Here it is, Rocket Fight. You can find me, that's my name, or look for the game. And yeah, so I'll show the latest iterations of the game later, which are completely different from this. But I'm interested in adding vehicles. So yeah, obviously this has a few vehicles. It has this one, which is part of the template. The only thing, this is nice. There are some things I don't really like. So this is actually my car. You can see Violet's. I don't even know how to say my name in a good way. Like Violet 87. I should have thought of that when I made it. I wanted to be Ultraviolet or something, but obviously that's taken. So yeah. But anyway, so this is my car. So other people actually can't ride it, which I don't like personally. At least not for now. Yeah, the weapon system is not playing too well. I've got this crosshair, which I don't want. Okay. Oh, and you can't run people over and kill them either. That's another annoying thing. Anyway, there's a bunch of little things I would tinker with in regards to that car. This tank, I tried a lot of different tanks, and this is the only... There's one other that mainly works, but it has a little bug where when you jump out of the tank, the crosshair stays. So that would be easy to fix, probably, and then... So I could use that tank. And other than that, this tank that you see here. Let me make sure I have the cursor coming up in the thing. Okay. This tank here is the only other one. Well, this is the one that really just works without any bugs that I've noticed so far. And it's the only one. So that's cool. And then there's a problem with this regeneration thing where, like, you can see the tank in the distance. Oh, I don't think... Yeah, it works. But it destroys the previous tank. So I'm not sure if I want that. If somebody's riding in the tank, you can just destroy it by clicking on the regen button. That's a little weird. Then these tanks, you can drive them around, but I can't figure out how to... let's see, can I get in one of them? This one is easiest to get into. I don't know about the others. But I don't know how to fire. So... Problem is there's no shell loaded. I don't know, it's probably an easy fix somewhere in the code. And these are nice tanks, so maybe I'll end up using these eventually, but right now I don't know how to make them fire, so that's a bit of a problem. Okay, and then the helicopters... There were actually 2 helicopters I was playing with that are free models. Both of them had problems, but I was able to sort of combine... Well, actually, one of them, you just had to uncomment some code, and then now it is controllable. But it has this annoying bug where... This is very strange. It will keep firing even when somebody jumps out, so that's a bit annoying. Anyway, but you can control it and you can shoot it, at least on PC. I haven't tried on mobile yet, so that's one of the things I'll do is try all these things on mobile, play around with them, try to fix those tanks that don't work the way I want them to. Stuff like that. There's a bunch of tweaks and fixes and testing to do. But for now I have a tank that kind of works. I have this buggy from this dune buggy from Roblox, which kind of works. Actually works pretty well. And the helicopter kind of works. So that is progress in my book. There's a lot more work to be done. A lot of people hate free models, so, you know, I can make my own helicopter model. I know how to 3D model, so... Or make a better tank model, all that stuff, eventually. But, I don't want to start out building everything from scratch. I want to use what's out there first, see if I can find a working example. For example, the helicopters. I might end up building my own helicopter from scratch, but at least I have these working examples that if I get frustrated building my own thing, I can look back on them and see, oh, okay, you can just do this, or maybe I'll copy and paste some code and all that kind of stuff. I just think it's good to have working examples before you start building something from scratch, if you can do that. It's like if you were making a pie, you should maybe just follow other people's recipes first before entirely coming up with your own recipe. It's the same kind of thing. Anyway, so we got a helicopter, tank, and buggy. So that's my main focus right now, is just to work on these vehicles. And wow, that's interesting what just happened. So I'm going to tweak them, try to fix them, make them usable for my other games or for future versions of this game, Rocket Fight. So I'll talk a little bit about my analytics and the ads that I've been doing. And so one thing that's concerning me right now is that the like percentage went from being in the 70% range just steadily down. Actually, so when I made it so that you could damage terrain, that made this like percentage drop like a stone over a couple days. I think it went from like around 70% to this 46%. And so there's a lot of mobile users, and apparently they're not happy about destroying the terrain. You know, personally, I had a ton of fun when I switched that on. And I know, I don't know, we were playing, a few of us were playing against each other, and it was just a ton of fun. So I don't think I'm the only one who really enjoyed it. And I suspect that for PC users, it's actually quite fun, but for mobile users, not so much. And most of the users are mobile users. If you're using ads, it is more difficult or more expensive to get computer users. It's several times more expensive. So this is over the last 30 days, my daily active users, and this is when I started the game, was January 13th. So it's been a couple of weeks, and if I look at the daily revenue, I started monetizing shortly thereafter. And this bump is sort of an abnormality. I think I poured in a lot of money into the advertising to see, I was comparing this game to my other game and trying to see which one would generate more revenue. And so there's a bit of a rise from like 50, and then it goes up over 100. And this is actually, I think, when I started, I think from 65 to 100 is when I switched it so that terrain could be destroyed. And so so it did two things. It made mobile users very unhappy, or I presume it's mobile users, but users in general became a lot less happy and started disliking my experience. And it increased my monetization by roughly doubling it. And so I think what was happening is that people would struggle to get a weapon, and so they would go and purchase premium weapons far more often. So it was actually good for my revenue. So that's why I kept it like that for a few days. And during those few days, the like percentage plummeted. So now I'm switching and trying this. I'm simultaneously trying this new map, but I switched off the terrain destruction And also my advertising is only on for mobile users now. And so the daily active users is going up nicely. The blue one is me. So up from 800 now to almost 1500. And actually I'm also reducing the expenditure as well. So right now I'm on, it's targeted for all users, okay, but that ends up being mainly mobile. And it's $30 a day. And I'm going to keep that for a bit and then probably lower it down to $20 a day, which is the minimum. And so I'm focused on two things. One, increasing the daily active users, just because that seems to be what's happening, and that's nice. I'd like to continue with that. And two, I would like this percentage to increase, so I kind of need to return to the roots that were making people enjoy the game before. Even though I enjoy the game more with terrain destruction, I have to focus on what the users prefer. So yeah, I want to increase that percentage, so return to roots. But the third thing that I'm doing is playing with the game, new version of the game, as you saw, where I'm trying to tweak the vehicles and play around. And just like you saw me in the game, I saw this crazy kind of bug where the tank kind of did some very odd behavior. So I'm learning things like that. Now, if this percentage does not start increasing, I'll have to revert back to previous versions of the game, because I do want to get this up. I mean, ideally, I'd be able to monetize nicely and also have this up, say, at least in the 60% area. Maybe higher than 70% would be nice.